The Peninsula Symphony's March concert, titled Women in March, focuses on two women in the second half of the program, one fictional and one who could not be more real. The fictional one, of course, is the legendary figure of Scheherazade from 1001 Nights, a story brought most vividly to life in the persona of a symphony orchestra by Rimsky-Korsakov, perhaps the greatest color painter, the greatest storyteller in the history of symphonic music, and the teacher of every other great composer who was also a brilliant orchestrator. And then the second woman involved is not just the fictional character of Scheherazade, but our concertmaster, Debra Fong, who actually plays the part of Scheherazade in the story as it plays out on stage of Scheherazade. In the story of Scheherazade, we have two main characters. There's the Sultan, Shahryar, who is a demonic, evil character. As we know in 1001 Nights, this is the Sultan who married many times over, always after the first night, killed his wife. And Scheherazade was the only one who was able to woo him into a different approach. And she did that by telling him 1001 fabulous stories which absorbed his attention and calmed his persona. He is portrayed by the following music. Nasty, demonic, threatening, and that's the Sultan. But Scheherazade is calm. She's lovely, she's soothing, she's touching and sweet. So, Scheherazade tells 1001 stories, but Rimsky-Korsakov picks out just 4 of those to define the outlines of his symphonic suite. The first one is the sea and Sinbad's ship. And in this, we hear the orchestra roiling and sweeping with the sounds of the sea buffeting the ship. We hear the winds flashing. We feel the waves buffeting the bow of the ship. And finally, a sense of strength and triumph of the ship over adversity. Then there's the story of the Calendar Prince, a Sufi prince who it kind of dances his way through all kinds of episodes, including a raging battle. The third movement is a love story between a young princess who is wooing a kind of a prince who is just too busy to be bothered, and eventually Scheherazade gets them together. Finally, in the fourth movement, we have a rip-roaring festival in Baghdad, which eventually winds up back in the sea. And this time, the winds and the waves are turning into a maelstrom, which ultimately sends the ship reeling against rocks in a most descriptive crash. Listen to this. Out of control, wilder and wilder, till it starts to founder. And then finally hits the rocks. And after this, we hear Scheherazade in her last calm, beautiful, serene, story. And then finally we get to hear the Sultan, for the only time, serene, calmed, and loving. And that's the transformation that Rimsky-Korsakov and Scheherazade have performed, not just on the orchestra, not just on the tales of the 1001 Nights, but on us in the audience. So, Scheherazade, a fabulous fictional character brought to life by our own Debra Fong, our concertmaster at the Peninsula Symphony Concerts, March 24th at the San Mateo Performing Arts Center and March 25th at Heritage Theater in Campbell. We hope to see you there.